What's up everyone, 7-Star Mike here. Today I'm going to talk about how you can stay in a trade longer, because this is one of my biggest issues as a trader that I've been battling for quite a while. I'm a short-term trader and I do some swing trading, but I am geared my mindset towards taking those short-term gains. So here's something you can do to stay in trades longer. This is Meta. This is a trade I was taking earlier today. We had some resistance early in the morning. This was the orb high. So if you guys have followed me before, you know I love the orb strategy, opening range breakout. I have a video on YouTube you can check out if you're not familiar with that, but this is the orb high level here. And I was going to take a trade if it broke above that. You can see it did here. So this was my entry down here. Now, how do we exit these trades? That's a common question I get, is how do we know when to exit a trade? So here's my method. Now, this one, I did not hold it the way I'm going to describe it today. So again, this isn't me preaching to everyone about what you have to do. This is something I need to work on to better myself as a trader as well. But here's how you would ideally stay in this trade, and this is what I'm working on, and work alongside me if this is a problem you guys have. We enter the break of this resistance here, so we're in a call position here. Now we're not going to exit this trade unless it breaks below that entry. You can see when it pulled back to that level, but it held. So we're going to stay in this trade. Now this was a prior resistance here right before it pulled back. So let's go ahead and put a resistance level right there. Now, once it breaks above this level, we're going to stay in the trade as long as it holds above there. So you can see it breaks above there, comes back down to test it, holds a support, so we're going to stay in the trade. Now it doesn't make a higher high here, but when it comes back, it still stays above that level, so we're going to stay in the trade. So since this is a level of resistance, we're going to go ahead and put a new line right there. So once it breaks above this level, which it did over here, we're going to stay in the trade as long as it stays above this level. So this is basically a way to bump up your stop loss as the trade progresses, so that as the trade moves higher and higher, the amounts you're going to lock in as this trade moves up also. So down here, once we break above this level, we're going to make this our stop. Once we have this new high up here and we break that, we're going to make this our stop. So once we break through here, we're climbing, we have a retrace, but it doesn't break below that level, so ideally we want to stay in this trade. But this was a level of resistance here, so let's put a line up there now. And we're going to stay in this trade as long as it breaches this level and stays above this level. So after the pullback, you can see that it did breach that next level. It pulled back, but it stopped right there. And then it went on to make a little bit of a higher high. So again, as long as it stays above our next level, we're going to stay in the trade. Now let's go put another line at that next level of resistance. You can see it pulls back, but it never breached below this level here. And then it goes on to make a little bit of a higher high, and then it pulls back and it did breach this level. Now people ask, how do you get out of a trade? So let's zoom in a little bit. This candle here, you can see the wick comes down below that level, but the candle closes above it. The next candle actually does close below it. My typical rule is to not wait for one candle, but the next. And so even though this one closed below that level, the next candle went right back above it. So I would stay in this trade. Now, we couldn't make a higher high. You can see we're flirting with this level again. So if we break below this level and the next candle opens below it, that would be my ideal exit. Now, sometimes what you'll have is maybe one or two candles below this level, and then it goes on to make a higher high. At that point, that's okay for me to exit here because I had a valid reason to exit. And if it went on to run afterwards, so be it. That's part of trading. But here's a great example of resistance becoming support. Okay, so we have the initial break here, and then that level becomes support. We have a break here, and then that level becomes support. This level here is resistance. It never really became support, but this level of resistance became perfect support. Perfect support, perfect support. So use those support and resistance levels, move your stop up each level that you get to, and this is how you would trade level to level using support and resistance instead of emotion. That's how we want to stay in the trade. As long as it stays above our previous level, that's how you maximize profits. Admittedly, this is something I need to work on, so let's focus on this together, stay in trades longer, and lock in more profits. Thanks for watching.